Hey guys, Freak here. In this video I'm going to give you a very quick summary of everything new coming into Diablo 4 Season 6 and the expansion Vessel of Hatred. No opinions or fluff, just the facts. Let's go. First up, there will be a new zone called Nahantu. This zone was previously found in Act 3 of Diablo 2, but it was just referred to as Kyrgyzstan, as the Nahantu region at the time was just within Kyrgyzstan. The new zone will be found in the expansion to the southwest and is said to be about the size of Skazglen. It's divided into 6 explorable regions, 4 jungle themed and 2 Red Rock Canyon themed. This is where you'll complete the next phase of the campaign. The new class is called Spiritborn. This is new to the Diablo universe. It's been likened to the playstyle of the monk in Diablo 3. The Spiritborn thematically draws power from 4 different spirit guardians and their variety of skills. Of the 4 different guardians, there is the Jaguar, focusing on quick damage and lots of buttons, the Gorilla, focusing on retribution and damage reduction, the Eagle, focusing on speed and precision, and the Centipede, with a focus on damage over time and poison. Their resource is called Vigor, generated using basic skills like the other classes. You can go all in on one of the guardians or mix and match to tailor your own playstyle. I did not get the opportunity to try the new class, but every big name that I've seen so far that has seems to really dig the flavor and the gameplay. Let's talk about leveling. The level cap will no longer be 100 and now will be level 60. World tiers are gone and replaced by a system similar to what was found in Diablo 3. You'll choose from normal, hard, or expert while you level from 1 to 50, and from 51 to 60 you'll want to try out your punch in Penitent. I have a hunch that they will open this new difficulty earlier than level 50. We'll see. Once you hit level 60 and gear up enough to clear pit level 20, Torment 1 will unlock. Further difficulties are unlocked by completing certain pit levels. Pit 35 unlocks tier 2, pit 50 unlocks tier 3, and pit 65 unlocks tier 4. I'll talk more about the pit changes in a bit, but let's talk quickly about the Paragon changes. You'll start to gain Paragon points at level 60, and you'll cap these points at 300, 100 more than previously. You can now use only a maximum of 5 Paragon boards, including the starting board. Several changes have been made to the boards and legendary nodes to accommodate this change, as well as adding at least 1 new board per class. There's been several reworks of glyph powers, and overall they've been made stronger. You can now level glyphs from level 1 to 100. At glyph level 46, they turn legendary and the radius is expanded. Glyphs level faster than before, and for the most part, builds won't require you to have level 100 glyphs. This is more about having a sense of progression in the end game, kind of like the Paragon system. Let's talk about itemization. Sacred items will no longer drop, and there will be normal and ancestral items. Normal items will be capped at item power 750 and will always be 750 at level 60. At the end of the beta, these items can only be tempered once in Masterworked up to 4. The developers have indicated that these normal items are not meant to be your endgame items, but a bridge to help you through the Torment tiers. Once you get strong enough to clear pit 20 and unlock Torment 1, ancestral items will start to have a chance to drop, and that chance increases as you progress from Torment 1 through 4. Ancestral items will always be item level 800, and will always have 1 greater affix. These items will be considered more rare than before and will generally provide a significant power up as you progress through the difficulties. And speaking of items, there will be a bunch of new legendaries and uniques, and I'll show you some of the class specific ones in a minute. So let's talk quick about the pit versus nightmare dungeons. Previously, you'd run the pit for masterworking materials and nightmare dungeons to level your glyphs. They've flip-flopped the philosophy here, and now you'll get masterworking materials and nightmare dungeons, and you'll level your glyphs in the pit. Blizzard's explanation is that you'll now want to explore every nook and cranny in the nightmare dungeons to find as many elites as possible to get your masterworking materials, and you'll still want to just blast and zoom in the pit to get to the end to level your glyphs. The less you die in your pit run, the more glyph XP you'll get. Alright, now it's time to talk about Runewords. A variation of runes and runewords from Diablo 2 are making the return to Diablo 4. However, it's not quite the same thing, as some people are not enthusiastic about the new rendition. You'll only be able to socket 2 runes into an item. There are 2 types of runes of ritual and runes of invocation, and you need to use 1 from each type to complete your rune word, if you want to call it that. Your ritual runes will be an activator, meaning it asks you or your character to do or not do something to trigger the other rune. A couple examples would be stand still for 3 seconds, or travel a certain distance. The next rune, or your rune of invocation, will typically provide a power that could be different from a different class, or your own, and is triggered by the first rune. So for example, as previously mentioned, if you stand still for 3 seconds, your second rune could be trigger a Barbarian's Earthquake. There's actually a crazy example of an AFK Barbarian on the PTR where you just stand still, load up on Earthquake legendary powers, and watch everything just melt while you stand there. There is a lot of possibilities here and a lot of room to expand the system, and this could offer a new level of build diversity that we've never seen before. Now let's move on to the new skills. So each class has gotten a new skill to press and a new key passive, additional passives, and some supporting legendary and unique items. Each class will benefit from 10 more skill points to use on their tree, and ultimates can now be leveled up to 5 ranks, just like the other skills. So real quick, the Barbarian gets a new weapon mastery skill called Mighty Throw, a new key passive that leans into more of a Thorns build, and there's a new unique helm that leans into Wrath of the Berserk. The Druid gets a new core skill called Stone Burst. Their new key passive and legendary nodes buffs companion skills, and the new Druid specific unique provides buffs to the new skill Stone Burst. The Necromancer gets a new ultimate skill that corrupts surrounding enemies and provides a barrier. The new key passive and legendary node both lean into curse skills, and the new unique for Necros buffs the new ultimate. The Rogue gets a new agility channeled skill called Dance of Knives. It's much like Barbarian's Whirlwind. The new key passive for Rogues increase damage when you're dishing out 3 different types of non-physical damage, and the new unique works with smoke grenade. The Sorceress gets a new conjuration skill. The new passive grants a general buff to everything, and the new unique buffs the new conjuration skill. All right, let's talk about Mercenaries. Another concept taken from previous Diablo games is a mercenary system. The mercenaries will have a skill tree and a progression system. You'll pick one of 4 mercenaries as your main companion, and then you'll choose like a secondary or backup companion that will be able to augment one of your skills, similar to how the rune system works. So once an action is triggered, whatever skill of your secondary mercenary that you assign to that action will proc and hopefully do something cool. The Dark Citadel is a new endgame mode added in the expansion. It's called a raid, but it's designed for 4 players. You can go in there with 2, but it won't scale the difficulty down any further, so you'll want to go in with 4. There will be 3 wings, each with different puzzles for your group to solve. It acts as a raid, as in you don't have to complete it all in one sitting, like you can go back, and they have said it can take hours to complete. You'll earn coins as you progress through, and you can spend them on cosmetics and scrolls that will help you in future runs, and it scales with the difficulty that you're on, just like any of the other activities. And now if you're thinking it might be a pain to find more players to do the raid with, there is a brand new addition to the game called Party Finder. This new menu allows you to easily find a group with not only the content you want to do, but what type of player you are. So if you're a sweaty neckbeard or more of a chill and push buttons type of player, it should be able to find a group for you. There's also a new leveling mode called the Kurast Undercity. Now we don't know too much about this mode yet, but it does sound like almost like Infernal Hordes, but instead there's a timer and multiple levels instead of just one room. And apparently you earn a currency for your efforts, and then you use that currency to somehow target farm specific affixes or stats or something like that. Hopefully we'll learn more about this, or it might be something we just have to jump into once the expansion drops. Now, there's also a lot of quality of life updates that you can jump in and experience for yourself, but just a few things, like there's boss mats drop from different places. They made a few tweaks to those. A little bit easier target farming this season. You can set your town portal to any town you want to go to, things like that. Get in there, check it out. Don't forget to like and subscribe.